Hello. We're playing with drums for a little while. I thought I would just do a live stream for the fun of it to hang out. So, welcome. My name is John Skippy Limcool. Welcome to a plugin guru video of unique educational benefit, I hope. Let me do the zooming in, and we want to change this screen to be over here. There we go. If you like this background, I'm going to post it for free. Zoom in there like that, and go like that. I'll give you a link to it right here. Let's see here. This is the never quit plugin guru background. So never quit, right? That's what we do around here. Let's see. So I wanna welcome. Oh, you were messing with pads and Omnipulse. Nice, Biggie. Welcome to a plugin guru video. Let's see here, get all this going. So here is the background. If you have a 1920 by 1080 display. So there's two purposes to this. Let's see here. I was about to go to the store. Oh. So there's a couple of purposes for this. Number one, I'm working on OMG Volume 2. OMG Drums Volume 2, technically, is the name of it. And that is these rather insane... It starts with 6 samples from what originally was Break Tweaker. So here's Break Tweaker. I was going to do... Let's do a funner one than just chilling. Let's do like maybe one of the techno ones or something like that. Let's see. Oh, wait. Cancel. There's all of these grooves, and they're really cool. Oh, we're not doing dubstep. That was volume 1. So we're into techno. So let's go techno. So we're going to take that and make it in Omnisphere. Because I've taken those samples and sampled them, and I've made the kit already. So if we go over here to OMG Drums to Hocken, I'm not sure exactly what Hocken is. Techno, trance, Hocken. So we need to turn this kit into a groove. And I've done this for all these up here so far. This is part 2 of the 3-step process. You start with the kit, and then you make the groove, the loop. And you do that by using the arpeggiator inside of Omnisphere for each of those samples to play its respective pattern. So for Hocken, it sounds like you've got something in your throat when you say that, right? I just have the kit. You don't see a loop version yet, right? Now, before we do this, I had a customer ask, and I told him I would do this. The environment in Logic. Open up the MIDI environment. He wanted to know how to get this keyboard to show up inside of Logic. And so typically this is down here like on the mixer when you call it up. You go under Logic to Window to MIDI environment. But you can click right here where it says mixer, and you can change to different things, and click imports will pop up typically where you see the physical input and the physical. So there's 2 inputs. There's the input from your keyboard controllers, and then there's the input into, that's not it, it's right here. Sequencer input is the actual input into recording in the sequencer. And the cool thing with the environment is you have all of these tools over here, arpeggiators, all sorts of things that you can put between here and the sequencer input. And so if I turn off, I'm going to show cables so we can see where everything's connected. And so I went over here and I said, new keyboard. You can make as many as you want. And you can click and drag to change the size of it. I'm going to select this and delete it because I already have one right here. But what I don't have that I want to have is I want to see a fader. So when I move, you can see there's a physical data input, but if I go over here to faders, there's a whole bunch. And I want a vertical, like 3 will probably be fine. And you can click over here, make it a little bit bigger and taller. And then I'm gonna go, I want it to be control, channel. I want it to be 1, and I want it to go out as 1. So it sees my mod wheel and displays it as mod. So now you take this output, you go into here, connect. Oh, we need to disconnect this, or actually to connect this into here. But then we need to reroute this to be, oh wait, let's see. So, so now the fader works, right? But I have it set up kind of tricky. I want to go from here into here, and then from out of here into here. So that way I have a stream from my keyboard, from my hardware controllers, into this fader, into the keyboard, and into an input viewer so I can see data, okay? So those are all connected now. And then you can resize it like this and get it to fit. You can click right here and drag to the left to make it disappear altogether. And now you have this little tiny keyboard. And if you go up here to view and you say protect cables and don't show cables, then those things go away. So you now have, there you go. So now I can put this here. I don't really need to see the input, but if I need to move the mod wheel. So that's how you set up the environment for a keyboard. And the key, the trick is to make sure that everything, if you go back to showing cables, eventually gets routed over to that sequencer input, just a single input. And I have seen a complete entire screen of knobs and sliders to control faders real time for the sound of an instrument. So you can do some fairly elaborate, crazy things if you want to with the environment. But I use it in a real simple way just to show the keyboard, because a lot of these plugins don't have a keyboard. Some do, so I don't use it. But when they don't, now you can see the keys I play. Right? So we needed to make Haken. It's 138, so I'm going to set my sequencer to 138. I'm going to check chat real quick. Hey guys. Yeah, so it's just, I'm just felt like doing a live stream for a little bit, sharing. So I'm in the process of working on OMG Volume 2, and I'm taking a groove, and I need to make that here in Omnisphere. So to start with, the kick drum is fairly straightforward. So go down here to the presets, plugin guru, OMG presets for starters. Although I believe there's a little upbeat on this. Oh, it's a snare. So we can copy this. Okay, so now we're ready for the next step, which is to go to multi-mode and change it from being a drum kit into where these have to be mapped up and down the keyboard for each of these parts. And it just so happens I saved a stack with that setup. So there it does that. And now they all play. And so you go to the mixer and I mute the ones I don't want to hear. And 2, oh, wow. Okay, messed up my audio for a second. Oh. If I mute everything except for, here, let's bring this over so you can see. I'm muting everything but the kick and snare. And then here's Omnisphere. So there was enveloping on this clap. And it's being pushed a lot harder. I can hear. By the way, I must point out, I love my 64 audio in-ear monitors. These things are amazing. I hear all the detail differences between that and that. So we can go to the EQ on the clap, get rid of. even less. Then I need to get the kick drum to be a little bit more hot, so let's go here. And it's shorter, so let's... There's just something, it's just completely squashed. There's this parameter inside of Ears Without It. You can just like, it does this really hard compression. And there's, it's kind of like the DBX160. There's not really anything quite like that in Omnisphere. Good morning. Good morning. I see people just waking up. Yeah, the environment's fun. Had to have a little cookie. Okay, so. And let's see here. Let's go over here to 138. We were right. And then what's the next part? I like the sound of that, even if it's not exactly... I try, but I don't have to necessarily nail exactly to the Break Tweaker version. I mean, it's a 1, 2, 3, hold out. 1, 2, 3, hold out. You just do that. Oh, and then unmute it. Brighter too. So go over here, EQ. Yeah, this will drive you crazy. But this is what it takes to do the work, man. Okay, so what's next? I don't want to drive it too. We got the little kick going in a little up down pattern. So turn on part 4. Now in a case like this is one of my secrets. So check this out. So let's go to part 4. Let's make sure it's part 4. Yeah, it's there. So we go part 4. And I need to get the timing right for this thing. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to turn on the ARP, but make it blank. And stretch it out to 16. And I play both at the same time. And I might kill like the kick drum. Mute that, mute that. This, I don't want to drive you guys too crazy. There, got it. Okay, and what's next? Yeah. And there's just a 16th note for the snare, so we... And then part 6, turn on the ARP, blank. Excuse me. To here. Oh, I have to unmute this. I bet I got it muted still. And then the synth part, that brass. So part 5. Initialize. Let's go blank. Make it one measure. And let's layer the 2. Got it. So I have it in Omnisphere playing pretty similar. Here's the Break Tweaker version. Oh, let's get everybody playing. Oh. And it takes down my CPU just playing the Break Tweaker patch. It's really funny. Okay. Now I need to figure out what I want to have transposing in pitch. So I want the brass part for sure. And the way I figure this out is by turning this on, making this a synth waveform. And the original pitch of that was D1, so I'm gonna have to like take it down probably 2 octaves. And then take this up 2 octaves. And it was originally so it's D, so that means we can down an octave. There. Maybe I want the clap to also transpose. Maybe the kick drum. Maybe the hi-hat. Okay, so here's where I save it because I will have to come back to this later. So we save this as loop. And this has samples created by Airwave. Got some of the comment fields already filled out. So that's where I stop right now on that groove. When I get all of these turned into loops, the next step is to go in and make the grooves for each of the loops. Maybe we'll do that to one of these just because it's going to drive you crazy if I'm playing patterns and stuff like that. 4:45 in the morning. Jimmy, you're a nut. Oh, thank you, Halo. That's very nice. He says, I love your stuff. You've taught me everything I know about Omnisphere. Thank you. My pleasure. Love to share knowledge. So I'm only here for a short period in history, and I want to help as many people as I can before that day in history where I have to disappear from the planet goes away, you know? So share the knowledge or you lose it, man. That's my philosophy. So let's take something that I've already looped and have fun with it and turn it into so this was one originally called Cyber Boogie Breakdown, which sounded like this. So if we go up here to the dance stuff, the way that, by the way, just so we're clear, the Break Tweaker library for Break Tweaker, the OMG library for Break Tweaker has all of these genres: trance, hip hop, dubstep, dance. All this stuff was in this library. I divided it into 2 separate libraries for Omnisphere. So the first one has the chill and the dubstep and the hip hop, glitch hop, stuff like that. This one is all the dance and the techno. So it's really focused on this kind of stuff. Here's the original Cyber Boogie Get Down. And it's originally 110 beats per minute, so it's and Break Tweaker still, it's been out for like 3 years. They've never updated it to be more CPU efficient, so this groove takes my computer down. It's crazy. But here's Omnisphere. And I think on part 6, that was the original sample. I made it more cool with a. So I like that. So let me resave that. That mix sounds better to me. So now I'm going to turn this into the groove element, which is really fun because that requires, let's see, taking it and splitting it up into a drum machine-esque kind of a thing. So let's see, we can make this go away because we don't need that. So we go to stack, and we say make it into groove, which layers all these sounds down here, trigger to 16th notes and latch mode on. And I think I can go to the live page, turn this on, turn on the latch page so I can see this, and I can just turn it on quickly this way. And I can set the timing to be 16th notes. So that way these will all play. Turn that off, turn back on stack mode. Yeah, this bass part we're going to put up here somewhere, and that hit too will be put somewhere. So why is that hat not? Oh, you know, it's still transposing, so we need to turn off transpose. Oh, I'm on B, duh. So it's like B, 2, 3. Oh. Huh? I must have forgotten the latch mode on something. Yeah, there's no latch mode here. 16th notes. There, thank you. If you don't have latch mode set, what it's doing is it's quantized so they automatically start only at the same time, all the parts. If this is set to latch mode off, which it was, or trigger immediately, then it actually triggers faster. It will trigger immediately when you play the note, even though the others are waiting for the next clock 16th note according to the sequencer tempo. That's why it's off. But 16th notes, now they all wait. Always tight. Very, very smart that they designed it that way. Very smart. So, we'll have the bass. Oh, wait. Oh, we don't want latch mode for these guys, right? Because and then go to the top, and with this. Let's have that go down an octave for the horns. Oh, so it's -6. We got to go to -18. So we got the start of our groove. I've split it so that you've got the drum groove on low C to start and stop like a drum machine. And then above that, up to B is the bass. And then starting at C, and I believe it is still set to quantize timing. I could turn this off to be trigger immediate, but watch what happens when I do this. So the groove. It works. So you just got to play in time, but since it's the way it is, as long as you play in time, you're good. Now, I want to add another patch. I have 2 empty patches. I've gotten all this work done, right? I still have these 2 empty sounds. I'm going to bring down this to here. And that's part 7. So we can go over here. We could say synth. So I have the blah, 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 blah. Let's mute that for the moment. So I want to make a patch here of something cool that will go along with it. So we want to filter probably. Let's do this. Let's go to 6 and let's copy this pattern and then go to 7. Let's turn on Harmonia. And you can do anything you want here. So. Now let's add part 6. That's really a rough start. I will refine this, probably not in this live stream, but just I want to assign the mod wheel to do a filter. And I'd probably find some sort of a funky, cool, let's see, core library. So I'm only looking at core library. Let's say guitar. Let's do this. I want to go back to muting 6. Something like that to give it a little bit more edge. Maybe put this to an amp. Check out the presets. Now more drive. A little mid. And I want to add a dynamic precision because this can bring up the bottom. It brings it up to be more level. So I can turn it down and it'll be more present with the body. Okay, so I got a bass part I like. Now I need to, this is really anemic, especially since I added the thicker bass. Can't even hear it, right? So we're gonna have to deal with that next. Computer with 8 patches and 1 multi. It isn't even close how much better these sound than the Break Tweaker originals. Well, you know, there's a couple things going. I can have different effects. Each of these samples has its own EQ compressor on them on the patch level, and the engine inside of Omnisphere plays multiple tracks really, really well. It submixes down and sounds really great. And then I'm beefing him up with all the other stuff we can do. So yeah, you can take it some cool places. Now I'm gonna go to part 7. Option click on this to name it. Bass. Oh, this is BPM bass. It's Cyber Boogie Get Down. So Cyber Pile Driver. And I'll have to refine it when I have it with speakers and stuff. It's close to what I want it to sound, I think, in my in-ear 64 audio ear monitors. Like I said, I love these things to death. Part 8. Let's see. Now, I'm going to save this at this point because I'm going to do a little searching. So go save multi, and this now goes to the moniker GRV at the end because that's the groove. So when this is all done, as you can see, there's a kit now. So you can play that. Just use it like a drum machine. This is how a lot of the Contact libraries come with, like the bottom octave is like 7 samples. Okay. You have the loop version where it's using the arpeggiators. But you can play it with the keys as I play the keyboard. That's something you can't do on the Break Tweaker version. And again, that's killing my computer totally to play that. Whereas Omnisphere can play all these parts with more effects and everything and take a fraction of the memory you needed. And now we have the groove, which has the start and stop down here on C. And then the bass. And you guys might think that I make all these libraries for you guys, and it's true, I don't. Because I want to go initialize this multi. It helps me with my knowledge and research to do this. I'm going to go to Boombox. Because Boombox, I think, is where I want to go. And check out real quick to find what sample I might want to use. Because there were all of these. Where's the core? Oh, Boombox bonus. Then we want to go to Boombox right here. So this has all the core hits. All these hits. Filler Killer might be cool. So A is atonal, and here's tonal. That'd be cool. So I need something that has some sustain and stuff to go with that little hit. So, Devastor. And Elastic Lo-Fi too. Let's try that. So I need to go text, edit. I want to write these down because I'll forget them otherwise. Give me a blank document so I can say this is Elastic Lo-Fi hit 2 and then S-T-O-R. So now I go back to OMG Volume 2 to Cyber Boogie Breakdown Groove. And I'm going to make that patch using those two samples. So I used it just a quick, I could have also done just a search by hit, but I wanted to show one of my libraries because that's part of the reason for doing these live streams. So we go to part 8, go over here to search, and let's type in Devastator. I spelled it wrong. Here's happening. The brass hit still has the art pattern. This does not. Which is what I was kind of hoping would happen. So let's turn on part B. Elastic lo-fi hit. Go over here. Search for elastic. Oh, huh? Elastic lo-fi hit 2. Now let's beef this up. The sequence part that's playing. Maybe that's where the elastic, or maybe a different elastic lo-fi hit should go here. So. Or we could just use synth waveforms. Now I haven't windowed those yet, so let's go over here to stack. You cannot play down to the bass range. Well, it can. It's kind of cool down here. Check this out. If you turn it on. No. Needs to be a hit. So let's go to the elastics. That's not the right hit. That's like a bass. I don't want that to conflict with my existing bass. No, it's not right. Takes some work. This takes hours maybe to get there, but you see the concept. You get to build these things up. It's really fun to build, but these takes. Sometimes I get lucky, but this one will take some work to get it right. Let me save it as a work in progress because it's kind of where I want it to head. What are you guys thinking about over here? Oh, you guys are just hanging out with me in the background. Okay, cool. No more questions. I don't see questions. Good. I'm going to do another groove. I want to do... one of the trance ones, like Joofed. I love Joofed. See if this will work. So let's go over here to Break Tweaker, to Joofed, Trance. Wow, there's a lot going on. One of the cool things with Break Tweaker, check this out. So this one's filtered. And this last one has effects. This has raw, whereas this has a low pass filter on this one, whereas this has nothing. So that's why this, instead of being, it's dark. So I have to simulate that in Omnisphere, which is pretty easy, just using velocity. And we're at 128 beats per minute. So let's go over here, make sure we're up to 128. And then we go over here to ARP. Go to OMG, to the starters, to the 4 and floor. And then he has this right here. So to recreate that, let's go here. We need to use UFI. I want to use 3. See how I'm going to do that? And that last one has like a wave shaper hit. So let's go over here and let's modulate this with envelope 4. And then go over here to envelope 4. Make sure it's at max. It's not inverted. Default step sequencer, but I need to delete all these steps. Remove, except for that last one. And then, so we have it start down here. And then you come back down. Let's halftime it. So go halftime. Why is it doing that? So we need to like make it more rude. It's not quite the same, but it's something. And then over here a nice blatty snare. So we go back to here. Oh, and we're ready now to go to stack and turn this into a loop. And now they all play, so we want to mute these guys that are not being invited to the party yet. And then go down here to OMG starters, snares on 2 and 4. Now the original is just gated. It's like a gated snare. So we got to go like this, add an element and bring this down, and bring this short. Shorter. So to zoom in. And this needs to be shorter. It's a little bit different vibe. Depends on if I want to nail that, because how the kick drum's really dark, except for that last hit, which works for the groove. Because oh, everybody's muted. Oh, come on, spoil my run. Now I think it'll be fine to have a bright kick. We need the hi-hat, just upbeats. So go to part 3. Let's add it by unmuting. Get my timing up. So go to part 3, arpeggiator, turn this on. Go back to those really useful, amazingly useful presets. Upbeats. Cool. So it just keeps building. Let's see here. It's just a matter of time, but the internet is so convoluted and full of white noise. Ah. Yes, it's only highlighted for the owner of the name. So if I say hopefully you see it. Oh, you guys rock. Thanks, DJ Georgie Porgy. Cool name, man. You guys are great. I have the best customers by far. I must tell you that. I have a crazy thing happening this weekend. For 2 days. Only for 2 days. Just keep hanging on. A lot of you probably already have the libraries, so it won't be that big a deal, but it should be fun. I'm going to do something that will hopefully bring me more customers. I need new customers. That's how you keep growing, right? So that's the Tom. It's great to study Airwave's patterns because he is so smart with where to put things, where things. That's doing the octave thing, right? Oh, there you go. That gets turned into a. So, we need to shorten it, obviously. and change the envelope shape. And let's see, we can just turn these off to figure it out. This is my favorite trick. So I layer Brake Tweaker on top. And if I'm highlighting OMG, it should show. It's not. I'm on the toms. I'm here. It should be showing. Oh, there's no arpeggiator on it. And he has another tom on part 5. Let's do this. So we need to get this down in pitch. So now if I turn on pitch, oh, it's off. Okay, that should be similar to what we have if we have solo, solo, solo. Oh, it starts down, so it starts, and then it goes up. Okay, and then we add the next tom. And there's a kind of cool sound. So unmute. Oh, we have to play this a little bit. It's not mixed. It's not EQ'd quite the same way you're at. So let's go blank. Make it to be 1 measure. Come, hello, 16. Okay, so we have almost really short. And this has a cool sound. I hopefully sampled it to sound the same. It just needs to be louder. Press it really hard. Bring in some EQ. Cool. And then the last thing is the bass line. And in Brake Tweaker, it sounds like this. Let's mute these guys. And the sample that I have to work with is that. So when we get to Omnisphere, let's go to 6 and let's solo it. Yeah, I did some editing to the sounds in Brake Tweaker before I sampled them to put them in the Omnisphere. So I took the pulse out. So the first thing I'll have to do is go to 6, and this is where Del Norte came out really handy because we're on the first envelope. So we can say modulate this with envelope 4, turn down the volume. Go into envelope 4, right? I don't think it has to be polyphonic, but go to the Del Norte pulses. And maybe it's going to be the opposite of this. It needs to be up. And maybe double time. Oh, here, mute. Let's recall up because I didn't have it right. So I want to have the very beginning more accented. And then what else was going on here? There's some really interesting harmonic motion. And I don't have the tools in here to do that, but let's do this. Let's go to 6, turn it on, and let's make it just be like and then one thing I could do is, do I want to let's do this, unmodulate that. Let's go to EQ. Let's sync it. That kind of stimulates the kind. That actually is maybe cooler than this. Because this was kind of like, I don't know, it was cool, I guess, but it's going to be different because I can't do the exact same thing. This is more acid. So I could go over here, I could add like a really cool, here's where it's fun to have these racks. Let's go to the distorted guitars. Let's see, no effect, maybe not 3. That's kind of cool. Let's get that to be tuned because I want to hear that played on the keyboard. So go to part 6. Turn on pitch. Is it in tune? It is. Cool. So this is probably where I'd stop, just so I have. That's a really great place for a really cool trance thing to happen for the right hand. Cool. So save the multi. Loop. Joofed. Loop. There we go. So that's the process. And you know, this is, this is one reason why I haven't finished this for over a year, as all of these that say kits all need a loop and a groove. So I have easily at least a month or more of more work to do before I get done. But it's worth it. I haven't gotten the viola violin samples yet back, so I was like, you know, this is the time to do OMG. So that's what we're working on. Well, I just want to hang for an hour and say hi. The few times I'm messing with a non-guru product, I end up with crappy customer service. That's nice. Well, it's nice to see you guys. I'm going to go. Just got the word. Cool. Thanks for joining me. I'll do these probably again before the end of the year. I don't know if I want to do one on Friday or on Saturday. I'm really excited. I'm going to Apple's store tomorrow to replace the battery in my iPhone 6 and see if it speeds it up, because it is slower than molasses. What was the customer acquisition trick? I haven't told you what that trick is, but I'm basically going to make some very nice prices for 48 hours on a handful of my libraries, so that customers that aren't with libraries will want to have libraries, because who can say no to $1, right? Type of thing, or $5 for a sample-based library. Not to all my libraries, but just to a small handful. But I want to get lots of new customers to you know, check out the goods. So that's what's going to be happening. Well, hey, thank you for watching and joining me. This was fun. We will do this again. All right. Let me go over here. See if there's any more chats to continue. All right. Hey, do you guys want to do a 15-person shout out? There's 15 people watching. Maybe can get the contact versions. Well, the contact version of this is Super Macho Drums. That has most of the samples from not all of them, but a lot of the samples shout out. Hi, Holland in the house. That's so cool. Bavaria. I know Big E's here in Portland with me on the other side of the river. Up the street. Yeah. Well, up the street, over the river, down the woods, through the woods, all that kind of stuff. Oh, Mint, your coming sale. I think I'll probably, well, there's a sale going on my site right now. It's $14 off every library. So that's happening. But a couple, like 3 libraries I was going to like maybe highlight and make them like really appealing in price just for 48 hours for the last 2 days of the year. We'll see. All right. Well, thank you all. Peace, fat beats. I'll see you later. Bye. Bye.